Okay, I've got one person in here, so what would you all like to talk about tonight? A couple people joining me. Awesome. So this is my first stream, and I just kind of want to have a back and forth if we can. Whether it's iPhone, Android, whatever, Windows, Mac, whatever you want to join me for. Just here to have a chat and have a good time and see how people like it and see how it goes. So I got to be on my actual technically first live stream last night with I'm going to be on my first technical live stream last night with Easy Computer Solutions. That was fun. So got to join Easy Computer Solutions, and LB was in there, and I think let's see, Tech King Mike was there, and that was pretty fun. My first experience with that. Got to have some good back and forth talk. Got up to 47 subscribers last night. I was at 38 before that and got to add some more in there. So that's pretty cool. So I guess I can talk about the iPhone coming out tomorrow. Or coming out in a couple weeks here. The iPhone will be the Baron. Yeah, I tried to block him. I don't know how to go about it. I reported him and blocked some of his messages, but then there's others still coming through, so I'm not sure exactly what to do about that crap. Kind of rude. So, yes, Tavon Ray, I am new here. I started a little bit ago. I have 17 videos up if you want to check them out. And please subscribe, of course. Just kind of doing my thing, getting a handle on it. It was very nice of Eric over at Easy Computer Solutions to let me join his stream last night and have some fun there. So, Got to hang out with some pretty cool people and chat for a couple hours, talk back and forth about like Samsung DeX and how to use that and how to use that along with Shadow and do some pretty cool things. And got to just hang out with some fellow tech people and laugh and have fun and enjoy life. That's what it's all about. I mean, if you can't enjoy it, then maybe find something else to do. The enthusiasm, the intensity is quite something. As LeBaron could tell you, it can get quite intense there. So it was fun. Got to expand my horizons and kind of get some ideas on what I want to do and where I want to go. So, hey Andy, what's up, dude? See you join me over here. Oh yeah, LeBaron, it's all fun and games. I'm gonna have to get my hands on some of that popcorn though, man. Some of those flavors are awesome. Maybe a Dr. Pepper flavor. That'd be fun. Y'all want to talk about anything specifically, or I'm just kind of chilling and experiencing this and trying to see, if people want to join, have a chat, or what's up. I was serious, LeBaron. I would join you in the ring in a duo against somebody. I mean, it'd be fun because, I kind of know things that are advantages of both sides. And I was actually telling my wife earlier today that if you go on the opposing side, since you already know what people might say then on your side that are for your side, you get some pretty good advantages of that. Well, be safe, LeBaron. You don't want to be driving and watching YouTube at the same time. You can listen, but you probably don't want to be driving and texting and looking at the same time. Not a good idea. So a few different things on my mind lately with tech. One being some of the rumors with the Samsung Galaxy A90 5G model at a mid-range price, which could be pretty cool. I think that's their way of expanding to other markets without somebody having to go shell out, $1,200-$1,500 for a high-end 5G phone and can get the advantages of the speed and the processing and stuff. So yeah, Andy, first time streaming here. And then some of the rumors about the iPhone are quite interesting to see. Things like bilateral charging and including an 18-watt fast charger for the first time, and an etched glass on the back of two of the models. And what else did I see? I think there was some only really one difference, and that the update for the XR is going to be the only one that won't have pencil support. If that's true. I mean, it's all speculations and rumors at this point. Nobody really knows until a couple weeks, about a week and a half away. So I'm looking forward to that. My wife and I, we have both have iPhone 10s. I have the 256 gig model. She has the 64 gig model. She has my Note 9. I have this lovely LG G8 here, rocking the orange skin behind the case there. love this thing, man. It's sweet. I also have a OnePlus 6T that I dabble with, mainly just to see what they're doing with software at this point. Hoping to see that some of the rumors are true, that they'll be moving to Android 10. So, oh yeah, the Pixel 4, that'll be sweet. Some people say it looks ugly and this and that, and the multiple cameras on the back, and that it's going to look like the iPhone. So what? I mean, there's limits to what they can do to differentiate the looks at this point. Everybody wants a bezel-less phone and a notchless phone and all this. I say, leave a little bit of a notch as long as it doesn't get in the way, and, put the speakers in there. Those dual speakers are awesome. I mean, I get okay sound with this, with the under the screen speaker, but dual speakers are nothing to laugh at. The wireless charging and the ability to put it on the Pixel stand and use it as like a Google Home device is pretty sweet. So my wife and I will be upgrading to the new iPhones when those come out, as our old ones are almost paid off, and the trade-in amounts we can get is pretty good. Get like $310 for hers, and unfortunately the screen on the front of mine is broke. Otherwise I could get $360, but I did figure out if I just paid the lower amount and traded it in, I can get $185. So that's not bad. Still end up ahead, get about $550 between the two, and they'll be half of a new phone. So, and they'll probably be doing the buy one get one. I know they're doing the buy one get one on like the XS Max right now. So pay half of a new phone. And basically, she's looking at getting the update for the XR. She doesn't want the triple cameras or anything like that. Although I'm going to convince her to at least go to the update of the XS. Tavon, we're on AT&T. Had Verizon before, was paying almost $400 a month for two phones, and that was the Note 8, and I had the LG G6 and the Samsung S3 smartwatch. Now we have 4 phones and our Apple Watches, and we pay about just over $300. So a lot better. And Verizon's stopped getting good service around here, so things kind of shifted, and I don't know, sometimes I miss having it, but other times it's like, man, I get pretty good AT&T. I can go out back and I get about 22 to 25 meg down and about half that up. Obviously inside I get better on Wi-Fi. We get about 70 meg here, which isn't super fast, but the cheapest new iPhone will be the update to the XR. They're keeping the prices the same. According to what I've found in some rumors, is basically they're going to go with the 11, the 11 Pro, and the 11 Pro Max, or the 11 Max. And they're all upgrades of the current. As far as changes in specs, basically, they'll all have the same processor. The only difference between with the XR is it will have the lower resolution screen. There'll be updated Face ID with a slight angle, so when you have it on the surface, you don't have to tip it up to look at it, and like if it's in your car, you'll be able to get better angles and stuff. So that'll be $749, and then the update to the XS, the 11 Pro, if that's what they call it, will be $999, and then the Max will start at $1099. But what's interesting is this year, the update to the R will still be 64 gig, 128, and 256, but the regular and the Pro model is gonna get a bump up to a base 128 gig and all the way up to 512 gig. So I'm trying to convince her that we should just do the extra because it would be like $8.33 a month, and she would get the OLED screen, the added camera, and what else? Apple Pencil support, and double the storage and an increase in RAM, because the base model is going to go to 4 gigs of RAM for the update to the 10R, and the other two are going to have 6 gigs of RAM. That's what they're claiming. So we'll see. They seem to have a lot of detail and a lot of information on these leaks. So I tend to go with whatever the best is. That's why I got the 10 instead of the 8 or the 8 Plus. Plus, those were just kind of an update to the 7, and I had a 6S Plus was the last of that kind that I had, and so we'll see. I'm hoping that storage bumps won't be too much, but I might just go with the 128 gig model. I have the 256 iPhone 10, but I don't use a ton of storage. Although, as I've been doing more YouTube videos and using my phones and shooting in like 4K or 1080p, that might change. Especially with the added support where I could use an adapter and plug in like a thumb drive or a hard drive and transfer stuff off with iFile. I really want to do is upgrade my iPad here. I have the 9.7 inch first gen iPad Pro, and so I'd like to upgrade that. I might trade this puppy in. I can still get about $200 for it. So, which isn't bad because I've had this from the beginning. It's only the 32 gig model, so get about $180 for it, trade it in, and upgrade. But we'll see. So, yeah, Andy, I would stick with the 10R unless you can get a good trade in on it. I mean, $600 for a trade in on the 10R is a little hefty, given that the regular 10, like Apple gives you $400 for it. AT&T starts at $310, and then it's like $360 for my model. You might be able to sell it though. What storage size do you have on your 10R? I've actually I wanted to check out Visible, and I reached out to them, but they didn't get back to me, so kind of bummed out on that one. And none of the phones I have are compatible with it. The 6T, even though technically speaking, it can be used on CDMA network, you just have to call them and switch over. But since Visible doesn't have an actual location, it's a little difficult to get them to switch everything over, and I don't want to risk, I don't want to have to pay for service, and so. Yeah, Samsung does. They offer $600 towards like the S10, Note 10. They offer $600 trade-in basically on any of it. And I thought about doing that, but if they're doing the buy one, get one, I just can't pass it up. And yeah, I know a lot of the YouTubers talk about payments, but to me, to be able to upgrade my device, pay, pay, $30-$35 a month, and then be able to trade it in at like 80% paid off, or actually pay $5 more a month and be able to trade it in once it's at like a year. I mean, that's not bad. Get more of a trade-in value for it. Haven't had to pay as much of it off, so get about half back for it and get the new phone, or just pay it off and keep it. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna when we got our 10s, my wife got hers for free, basically free. I mean, split across payments. So we're just gonna pay off the last like $150 that's left on it, trade it in, get $310. So I actually am tempted to pay off her phone completely, which the whole payment amount left on it's $400, and then keep it and use it on Visible, or we might just sell it. But the problem is it's a 64 gig iPhone 10. You can find those online used for pretty cheap, and the amount it'd be to pay hers off probably won't get much more than the $400 that it will cost to completely pay it off. So I'd rather pay like the $150 for the trade-in, and then do the buy one get one. And then like if they continue what they're doing right now, is they have buy one get one plus a $300 card. So what we're thinking is pay her 100, and it'll be like $165 left on it at the time, or 100, yeah, 100, about $150 left on it at the time. Do the buy one get one, and then take that $300 gift card and pay mine off. So yeah, LeBaron, they are great from a business perspective, especially for their side. But for my side, if I go and I shell out, what was that, $1,149 plus all the fees, the 6% sales tax here. So I'm talking probably close to $1,300. I would have to, shell all that out. And then if my phone's only worth a few $100, worth half of that, I've still shelled that all out. But if I do payments, yeah, I've still shelled a decent amount out, but I can pay it off at 80%, or in some case 50%, and get the new phone and continue payments. Yeah, you're continuing payments, but it all depends on how long you're going to keep that baby. If you're going to keep it for 3, 4, 5 years, or you're going to be able to resell it and get a good amount for it, that's one thing. But yeah, $15.99 a month, that's not bad. I have somebody actually interested in my phone, even with the broken screen. So it just all depends, though, because like I said, if I do that and then get the $300 gift card and then pay mine off, I could go sell mine, even with the broken screen, for a couple $100. And right there is my, 1 month's payment. So I'm going to put some down too, probably, so that way it's not as much each month, or I'm going to just save it. I mean, yeah. Hey, Art Dog, what's up, man? Yeah, I had an issue earlier, and then I checked some things, and I guess it's not as awful as what I think it would look like. What do y'all think? So, yeah, we can't all go afford shelling out that kind of money. Let's see. So my phone would have been, let's see, do some math here. $1,149 plus $9.99 for my wife's phone, plus a $9.99 for the Note, plus $820. I mean, that's over $4,000 times 1.06. You're talking probably $4,500 in phones, and we can't afford that. But the thing is, my wife's was free over payments. I got the G8. They actually had a deal where you could get it free. They reimburse you payments. Yeah, I still have to pay the $20 a month line access fee, but that's $600 over the 30 months, and I'd have to pay that no matter what phone I have. And it's $820 on their site to get that phone. And then $9.99 for the Note, $9.99 for her iPhone, $11.49 for mine. I mean, no way. And then turn around and like the Note 9 right now, get what? $300-$400, get like $400 for that. So maybe get $1,000 across all the phones, maybe $1,200. That's the cost of one phone. I can't afford to do that after trade-ins and stuff. I'd rather be able to pay them off for the months and then own the phone and decide if I want to sell it and still get some money for it, or just hold on to it, or Yeah, technically I'm paying the initial value on a phone that's gone down in value over time, but fortunately, iPhones, Samsung phones, LG phones, a lot of these phones retain a higher percentage of the value than what's left. Like 20% left on my iPhones. I guarantee I already know I'm gonna get more than $200 for that thing. So yeah, Tavon, Pixel 3a XL. Yeah, it's a nice phone. They've had some pretty good deals lately. Like I saw you could get that phone if you went to Best Buy and added it right to your plan. You could get that thing for $299 at one point. They had a deal a while back. You could get the 3A for no, it was the 3A was 3A was $199, and the AXL was $299 because they had they were originally $299 and $399, but then they had a $100 deal. So sending yours back next year. What do you mean by that? Yeah, our dog 2-for-1, and discounts are a really good deal. So here's the funny story. So we were on Verizon paying all this money and had the Note 8 and the LG G6. When we went over to AT&T, they gave us $650. They took out the trade-in value for that, but basically we got $650 for each of our phones. So keep in mind, we got $1,300 for our phones, but then I only had to pay the $11.49 plus the taxes, or the taxes for $11.49 for my phone. Overall, it would be $11.49 plus taxes. So in the end, we actually kind of ended out ahead. Like we walked out the door we haven't had enough credit. We walked out the door, paid the taxes on the things, the $260 activation fees, the got cases, plus a screen protector for my wife's phone because they had that if you bought 3 accessories, you got 20% off. We needed cases anyways. And then used the rest towards like the first month. So we didn't end up paying until like into the third month because the credits we had covered like our first 2 months payments too. And then I'm going to take those phones and trade them in and sell them. So technically speaking, we didn't really pay anything for those phones. Yeah, we're paying each month, but we got those credits at the beginning, which covered their first couple months, which was more than the value of the phones were, and more the value than the value of the iPhone 10 that I got. And then we're going to get, like I said, we're going to get about $550 between those two phones for trade-in. And so I'll shell out probably, so then I'll pay $20 a month over the next 30 months, get the new iPhone, she'll get one for free, and we'll do it again next year. So yeah, you're paying each month, but basically to pay $600 and then get a new phone and then, just keep trading in and doing payments. That means every 5 years, I've paid the cost of one whole entire iPhone, if you think about it. If I go 30 months, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, LeBaron, that's true. The only other thing, though, that's interesting about that, too, if you think about it, is they also are giving, like, if you do the trade-in deal, like on Samsung's site, so the real value of the Note 10 Plus, you got to take out, think about what they sell those AKG earbuds for, whether they sell those for $100, something like that. And then if you get the free headphones or free wireless earbuds or whatever you get, if you take out that, you got to think the real value of those Note 10 Pluses are like $450. And then they're selling you, and then, you got to know that if they're doing these buy one get ones and they're doing credits each month, you got to think how much are they charging you extra on your plan, and how much do they actually pay for those devices? I think part of it is, if you consider $20 a month over is more than enough to cover the phones. You got to consider if I do buy one get one and I'm getting two phones. I'm paying $20 a month line access fee. That's not even including the plan per phone. That's $40 over. If that's over 30 months, right there's $1,200. That's already more than the value of the second phone. Plus, I'm paying for the first phone. So we got to know they're ahead. And even if you consider just for the one secondary phone, that's $600. You got to know that Apple and these companies are giving them deals. And if Apple isn't, Samsung and some of these are. And they're giving it to them at lower than what they sell it for. So they're always going to come out ahead. That's how they make their money. So, yeah, that's the one thing that I find interesting, though, is you go and you look at the Note 10 Plus, and they give you $950 with the buy one, get one towards the second phone. So if you go get the Note 10, or you can pay, or, they have deals where you can get the Note 10 for free, or you pay the difference and you can get the Note 10 Plus, pay the $150 more or whatever. But with iPhones, you just get the device. I mean, and the original, you just get 750, so you get towards like a 10R. So if you want to get to the 10S, like you're gonna shell out $250 to get to the 10S. Like that seems kind of to me. Like, so with Samsung, you can, you're gonna pay maybe a little bit more or the same price as like the maxed out 10S Max. So. Yeah, our dog, you're doing payments on the Mi 9T on eBay. Yeah. Then there's deals like that, or like PayPal has, if you qualify, which I did until I kind of messed up my credit at one point, but where PayPal will let you pay off things over like 24 months. So in theory, you could go get the phone outright and pay it to them instead of paying it to your carrier. And then if at any time you want to get out of your carrier, you own that phone. So you could switch it to another carrier. But you're not going to get the buy one. Well, you could get the buy one, get one, and then just pay it off and do that. But I don't know. It's funny because my wife was always an Android owner, and then when she met me and I had my iPhone, she loves that thing now. Um, I mean, I like iPhones, I like Android. They both have their things. Yeah, yeah, they do. They make their money on the taxes per month. Um, Actually, they got sued over that. AT&T got sued over that, and they had to remove some because they're adding these fees in there that weren't mentioned anywhere, like $15 to $20 fees for some people. Um, there's a guy that actually sued for a bit of money because he had been a customer with them for like the last 15 years, and he ended up winning like $25,000 or something. So yeah, 12 months to pay it off. That's pretty good. I mean, if you think about it, like with the 6T, what does that end up being like? Or you bought the OnePlus 5T that way, the Mi 9T. So what does that end up being like? $30 a month at most. I don't know. It's one of these deals with the payments to your carrier. It's kind of a ripoff because if you think about it, it's not any different than what they were doing before. Excuse my ear kind of itches here a second. Take a drink of water. It's not really any different than what they were doing before. It's just instead of payment on the plan, then you're locked into your plan. It's payment on your phone, and you got to pay off your phone, and you're locked into. Fortunately, there's not all those added fees. Like before, if you um, were on a 2-year contract, yeah, your phone was subsidized, but that's you know one thing. But then if you wanted to get out, you had to pay off your phone. Because I had this when I was on Verizon, so I had to pay off the phone plus fortunately they let me get out of my plan, but I still had to pay a little bit. I still had to pay like the previous month's bill that I owed on plus like the next month. But most of the time you had to pay, like, if you decided 2 or 3 months in, you had to pay at least like up to your 12 months plus your phone. So a lot of people would just keep on until the minimum time and then leave, or they got stiffed. Like people just wouldn't pay their bill, and then they try to come after them as a creditor or whatever. But yeah, I was just fortunate. I mean, I had the Success Plus. I ended up having to pay out about, I don't know, was it $1,300 between that and the fees, which was ridiculous. But you know, so yeah. One thing I don't know though is like with AT&T, if I could like go in and like let's say I'm at 12 months and I can't pay the rest of the 18 months, the rest of it off, could I go in and like put $500 on a phone and be like, I want to put that towards what's left so my payments go down? Like, I don't know. I don't think there's a way to do that. I know you can do down payments originally, which is one thing we'll probably do, but I don't know um, how that works. So I know AT&T was on strike. They had 20,000 of their employees on strike until about last week for a couple weeks, but didn't seem to affect us around here or anything. So I'm glad they're back out, especially with that hurricane coming. I mean, people will lose signal down there and they'll need to be able to get it back up and running, or to help, so they can make sure that they can get a hold of their family in other states and stuff, make sure that signal's going good. I did see the Verizon's not screwing up this time, and they're offering unlimited, upgrade to unlimited data and talk and text and stuff to other customers in those areas. So, and to like firefighters and all that and emergency responders. So have fun refinishing those floors for Baron. Sometimes you come off a little poetic, so have fun waxing, if that's what they are. I don't know if they're wooden floors, but just figured I'd try to make a joke there. So. Serious though, I'd love to tag team. Get a hold of Tech King Mike and see what he has to say. Yeah, AT&T had settled things with their workers. Apparently, when they pointed out some things, the employees realized kind of how selfish they were being. So, because as far as what I heard is that these were employees that were making like 175 to like 220,000 dollars a year, and like that was more than the average for those employees, like for any other company. And apparently, they thought they needed to make some more. So. Oh, yeah. I'll catch you on Twitter. Actually, let me add you right now. Make sure I added you. I don't know if I did. Here we go. And following. Awesome. Cute kids, but my son's asleep, of course. Thankfully. He stayed asleep all last night and was good for us. He's almost 15 months old. And I was thankful so I could join those guys. And for somebody who didn't even have 40 subscribers at the time, to join with somebody that has like 40,000 subscribers was crazy. So I'm hoping to get there. First goal is hopefully 50, and then 100, and just got to start one day at a time. So if any of you are interested, I'm actually going to be doing a video about this, but I can kind of discuss it a little bit. So how I do my videos is actually I shoot completely on a phone. Actually, the last month has all been on the G8. And then I either put them on the computer and just use Windows built-in software. When I was using my iPhone 10, I actually used iMovie on the iPhone. Added in the beginning intro and the outro with my Michael Tech Talk logo there. And then just posted it. And I mean, if any of you ever want to start a channel, if you haven't, I completely suggest that you do it. It's fun. Yeah, it is hard to begin, but we all have to start somewhere. So actually, I went to school I went to school originally. So I live in a small town called of Lake Odessa in Michigan. It's about maybe 2,200 people here. Um, it's one of those where it's all like antique shops, churches, barber shops, grocery store, like 4 gas stations, and that's pretty much it. Um, so how long have I been into tech? Um, well, let's see. I would say pretty much all my life. The first computer I had actually was an Apple IIe that my uncle had. My uncle's my aunt and uncle are missionaries currently, but he worked for NASA as a doctor. He actually worked with Armstrong. He got to fly with them. He had to get his pilot's license so he could fly up in the planes with them when they did their test flights. So if something went wrong, he was there as his doctor, and so that's pretty cool. So yeah, my uncle's Dr. Pepper technically, which is kind of funny. But they're in Tanzania right now. But anyways, the computer he had when he worked at NASA was an Apple IIe, and that was actually the first computer I had. I didn't really do much with it because I really didn't understand. I mean, I was like 6, 7 years old, and so I just kind of messed around with it. It was one of those with like the black screen background and the green lettering, and I mean, it was pretty small for what it was. Pretty impressive things that it could do. But then the first real like computer experience I had was in school. But like the first Mac we had here was on one of those the clamshell iBook. We always were Apple people at home. My grandpa was actually, bless his soul, was actually the one that got everybody into Apple. So it's just been what we did, but I've expanded. I mean, I'm actually streaming this on Linux right now. Funny enough, I'm Ubuntu on an ThinkPad E440. So I learned to do a little bit of terminal stuff, some pseudo terminal stuff on Linux, some coding and stuff with Windows, some things with Apple. I just enjoy technology. I think it can be a detrimental thing because people are always with their heads in their phone and they're doing one of these things, and they're not paying attention to anything, and they're ignoring our dog. I don't think I've heard of Donovan Hornback. What does he do on here? Like, is he a tech YouTuber? Or I'll have to check him out. So you can throw a link to his page in there if you want. So what was I saying? Oh, shoot. Forgot what I was. Oh yeah, that technology can be detrimental because it can obstruct the social aspect of things. Social media is actually more antisocial than anything, but where it's great is it allows for somebody to get out there and communicate with the whole world. I mean, I don't know where you guys live, but I'm communicating with you from here. And there was no way I'd be able to communicate with you guys simultaneously at one location easily. I can pick up my phone. I can be in touch with potentially hundreds of people at one time or thousands of people from one spot. And that's great. And technology is expanding. But, and the idea that I can, do this, double click my, and I'm on the camera right there. And I can shoot photos and upload right away. I can, stream. I can do all sorts of things. So, okay, he does tech similar to Jay Will. We'll have to check him out. Yeah, Jay Will. He's awesome. He's actually one of the people that kind of inspired me to do my own channel. I mean, there's a bunch of those guys that did, but the fact that he just does this and just chats with people and back and forth, and it's like, whatever, I'm just going to sit here and hang out, and I'm in the living room and chill and talk to people. It doesn't matter. There's 4 people watching, or there's 400, or there's 4,000, or whatever. So as far as my knowledge when it comes to technology is I read a lot, which is funny because I hate actually reading, but um, okay, okay, so um, but just getting on there, using certain apps. I use Flipboard, Smart News, all sorts of things, and just Apple News, and just reading and watching YouTube videos and looking at sites like Reddit and looking at different forums about like GSM Arena and different forums and stuff about what's about to come out. And and then I just kind of developed my own ideas. I mean, I have some pretty cool ideas in my head, and I mean, in all honesty, my goal would be to work for a tech company. I would love to work as like a product um, manager for a company, or like an ideas person. Just walk in, sit down, and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Be here there at like Google or Apple or someplace, and or even Samsung or whatever company, and being like, "Hey, I have these ideas. Can you make it happen?" That'd be my goal. Obviously, that's a way, way, way above goal, but I think it'd be pretty sweet to be able to just come up with some of these ideas. I mean, companies are getting there, but there's so many directions that they could go. I mean, the Surface Book is kind of a sweet idea, but I mean, like, one of my ideas I had was the idea of um, combining like the Surface with also having brains in like the keyboard area and have it like a laptop. So you dock it on, and the tablet part becomes the display, and then the base part, and it has storage and your processor and stuff, but the base part has that too. So you use it as one, and maybe you have some more higher end specs in the keyboard area, i9 9900K processor and more RAM and stuff. And then the other part is for when you're doing like still decent specs, like an i5 and some, decent amount of RAM and stuff, but for more portable tasks. But then the advantage is you could just take off that top part, hand it to your wife or kid, whatever. They could play games, do whatever on it. And then you could take the bottom part and, let's say, plug in a cable and use it as a desktop, or have it mirrored up to your TV through Chromecast or Samsung's mirroring technology or whatever. And you'd have 2 computers in one. You'd have portability, lightness, but you'd still have a powerhouse. And if something's on the tablet part that you need access to, you could just it could wirelessly join in. Okay, Legend, knock it off. I already blocked you once and reported you. Stop. Seriously, stop it. Amateur. Hide user. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, and I've reported them and blocked them, but apparently it doesn't do anything. Yeah, I know. It's just annoying. Hold on. There you go, Art Dog. Made you my moderator, bud. Yeah, I don't get why people have, no better time in their lives to do that. Pull that crap. So, he doesn't even have a page, so it's not like I can do anything about it. But anyways, so let's see. What was I talking about? I'm not sure. Part of me wants to. Here's a funny response to this. You know what a faggot is, first of all? You know that that's a package of cigarettes? Or a bundle of sticks? It won't even let me go to his page. So, I mean, I guess that's his way of saying I'm smoking. So, thanks. I don't go that way, but I'm not offended. I mean, if you're gay, whatever. I mean, I don't care. Have your own choice. Have your own religion. I don't want to get into politics and religion, but I will if I have to, and I will slam you for that. So. I don't want to toot my own horn, but, if he's going to come at me, he better be prepared. I mean, so you work for a tech company? Awesome. And I do believe La Jinn. Also, let's go to the Spanish stem for that. So, meaning the jinn. Weren't the jinn actually killed out in China, like back in the 1400s, 1500s? So, anyways, yeah, it won't let me go to his account. Whatever. Somebody wants to troll me. I have 5 viewers. I have 40 some subscribers. Maybe they should go somewhere else and bother somebody else. So, oh well. I feel like when somebody does something like that YouTube should be better at filtering those things. As soon as you hit it once, it should just do all of them and it should block them for good. So, I don't know. I've noticed that on other pages too. So, what do y'all want to talk about? Let's just ignore him, pretend he doesn't exist. That's, whatever. Oh, okay. You work for a tech company. What do you do? That's true, because if you tried it on a larger stream, they might actually reverse hack his IP address and ban that, which I would be tempted to do, but I don't have the time to do that right now. So. better things with my life to do than to mess with somebody like that and possibly get into trouble. So. You work for a tech company like Apple, huh? That sounds fun. Let me check you out, bud. Yeah. I don't know. Some people have. Oh, you want to work for. Okay. A tech company like Apple. Okay, I got that now. Yeah. Steve Jobs was an interesting man. He did way more than people give him credit for with that company. I mean, the fact that, he comes in, he's like 20 years old when it's $1 million company. 21, it's a $10 million company. 22, it's $100 million. I mean, by the time he was 23, it was like $1 billion company. It was 10 times each year. And then obviously, then it took a while to progress after that. But I don't know. These guys that start these companies are quite something. I mean, they just started in their garage somewhere, started with an idea. So, I mean, that gives me hope as a YouTuber, as starting out doing this, that, I can start out small. I can start out in my living room, and hopefully someday I'll have a studio where, a little bit better background here, or maybe I won't. I mean, whatever. I mean, I can have good time just with 3 people chilling out here, and, you know, I don't know. It's fun. A little challenging at times trying to create content and not just have it be like I'm throwing some junk out there. So that's what I've been kind of working on ideas. So I haven't posted in a little bit, but I've been just kind of working on some concepts and some ideas. I'm going to do a background behind the content creator video, just kind of let people know what I'm about and, where I started and where my goals to go with and what my page is about and things like that. And like how I create my videos, what devices I carry. I went to school for photography actually. Originally, I was in the criminal justice program, but then like the funding for that in Michigan kind of died out. So I had to ship. It was like, if I'm going to get a degree in something that's useless, why not just do that? Why not go and actually do something I enjoy? So I went to the photography program, graduated from Lansing Community College in 2013. Don't really use it a ton, but I do have an Instagram page. If you want to head over there, hit me up. It's just Michael Pepper Photography. Just look that up. It's all one word, I do believe. So. And that's kind of where I realized that our smartphones are incredible and what we're capable of doing. And like, I want to show people that. And that's my goal here too, is to kind of explore the world of technology more than just, oh, here's a phone, here's how it launches apps, here's the photos it can take, but like, how do you go about that? What apps, do I use? How the everyday person can become the creator and doesn't have to shell out a bunch of money necessarily. Yeah, you can. You can go buy a Sony or a Canon or a Nikon DSLR, hook it up, and you can you can go on and you can do something. You can make your voice heard. You can be an artist, musician, photographer, inspirational speaker, a poet, a writer, makeup artist, hairstylist, whatever. And we can all join together in this world on something like YouTube. And that's inspirational for all of us. I mean, and where we're going is even more crazy with 5G and the idea of being able to live stream at high rates and high quality from your phone. Better than 4G. I mean, 4G, there's a lot of places that barely have that. So hopefully 5G makes this a little better. And everybody knows you for your popcorn, but you have a project that you're looking for coders for. Yeah. I love it. So, and that's kind of my goal, is to just show my point of view and help inspire others. And whether I do that now, hopefully I do that now, even for the few people that are in here and maybe the people that watch the replay of this. Hopefully I inspire people and just kind of be like, wow, if he can do that, why can't I? Why can't everybody? So that's my goal. I've been inspired by so many people that I'm like, I want to pay that forward. I mean, I built my own computer this past March by watching YouTube videos. I mean, the fact that we live in a world that's crazy. So, I mean, we live in a world where anybody can do anything if they just put their minds to it and put a little bit of work into it. And people want stuff, but they also want to be lazy, and I don't like that. So that's why, I'm just trying. This is what I want to do. I worked in retail. I loved it. And unfortunately, it just wasn't paying enough. Literally, I was working to be able to afford the gas to go back and forth, and that just wasn't worth it. And then I got let go from a grocery store here almost just over 7 months ago, in January, and that was a bummer, but this is what keeps you going. So yeah, your phone won't get that upgrade to 5G. I think eventually in a few years we'll be at the point where every phone's 5G, so you won't really have to have that upgrade. You'll just do it. So Baron, coders for what? Like website coding, software, like what kind of coding? Do you want a website set up? Do you need coding for an app, for a program for your computer? I mean, what before? I should say for what? So I don't know. As far as 5G, where I see that going is the potential that basically the home network disappears, and the only reason you have a home network is for older devices, or for the idea of basically your 5G comes in and then your router puts it out. So it's either for older devices or for faster transfer between devices on a local network, like an intranet, because that can go at like 10 gigabit, 100 gigabit speeds for transferring data on servers and things like that, wired or wirelessly, is crazy. But the idea that you could be driving down the road and like your wife, or you could be out and about, and let's say your wife calls and says, hey, you know that movie you have on your phone? We want to watch that at home. You could stream that from your phone to your home and not have to worry about it. Or, upload it and you could download it really fast. The photos you took of the kids last weekend, I want to show my mother, but I don't have them. You just send them over through like Google Cloud or iCloud or whatever, and it'd be like instant. Or stuff will just automatically do that because it's so available and so fast and doesn't take any time that all your stuff will just be everywhere. Art Dog, yeah, I do think 5G will change the way carriers do business. We're already kind of seeing it. Actually, one thing that I thought was interesting when I looked at Verizon's plans that they just kind of changed recently, I noticed that a lot of their plans included unlimited 5G, and then they would have like 4G hotspot up to a certain amount, or the shift in their plans where the amount of 4G data you got. So if you had 4G phones or you're in an area that's just 4G, it was those step up plans like they do now. But then it was unlimited 5G and like unlimited 5G hotspot. Because the problem is 22 gigs of data. Some like 5G is capable of doing like 2 gigabit per second. Now that's gigabit. So you got to divide that by 8. So that's what, 250 megabytes per second. For a gigabit every 4 seconds. So you're talking about 88 seconds you go through 22 gigs potentially. In a minute and a half, you could go through 22 gigs of data at that speed. Like high speed, like 4K, 8K video streaming, gaming, streaming games and video streaming, AI technology, AR technology, remotely controlling robots across the world. I mean, that's the potential. Like, seriously, there's this potential that a surgeon could be on vacation over in Europe, and let's say they're the only one that really knows how to do something. They could be with less than a millisecond latency looking at what somebody else is looking at, and maybe not controlling a robot, but seeing through a headset what they're seeing basically in real time and saying, well, you need to clip here or there. 5G isn't going to really raise how much data we normally use substantially necessarily, because it all depends on what you use it for. Because a site takes the amount of data to load up. And I'm not giving you my home address. I am not a fool. Anyways, so the site's not going to take up any more data. It's going to load faster. Videos aren't going to take up anymore. But the option to have higher quality videos because they download so much faster is a good idea. But like I said, with stuff being able to download that fast, I see more potential of people using data for that. Because like at home, they might not have that decent internet. A lot of people don't. And even routers these days, a lot of times max out at certain speeds. So this 5G will be faster than a lot of people's home internet. So they want to watch seasons of Netflix. Chew. Yes, I have a son that I love very much. Thank you. Anyways, so being able to just download like whole seasons on Netflix like in minutes or seconds is crazy. So. Okay, you're going in timeout. So yeah, that's the problem. This is my concern. So much of the area already doesn't get 4G LTE. So how is 5G, which is even more difficult to implement, especially 600 megahertz in like sub-millimeter frequencies that can't penetrate buildings, is that going to be any better? Like, what, I'm going to have a device on the outside of my house that brings that in? Like, then I'm just going to go fiber optic. Like, if I'm going to have to pay for some service every month, I'm going to have to pay to bring it into my house. Why would I do that? Like, I can see out and about where it might be great, but who's going to actually do that? Like, if I could be at home or on a Wi-Fi network somewhere, or like if fast food places or like different places offer faster speeds with 5G capability coming out, I can see that as an option, and being like, oh, you pay and you get access to those. Like, people already do access on hotspots, so they already get that advantage. Like, I get connection to AT&T now, Wi-Fi networks anywhere. I know pretty much everybody does, but I just automatically get it. I don't have to sign in because I'm on AT&T. So, but I see the potential of 5G capability. I see the idea that we'll be able to be driving down the road, and you can already do this with location, but that your car will communicate through 5G to your house and turn your lights on when you are headed home, or when you leave, turn them off. Your doors could lock. Doors could unlock. There could be cameras, and if somebody's around, it won't unlock, and it will send you a message that says, hey, some suspicious person is trying to get into your house. We'll wait until you get home to lock the doors. So, I get okay. Actually, right now, I'm getting like 2 bars, but there's times I get like no signal in here, and I don't get that great of speeds inside. I have to go outside, but older house. Actually, funny enough, chicken wire in walls can interfere with Wi-Fi and data signals. So I don't know how they're going to get around this, because most of this 5G technology has to have those, and like raindrops can interfere with it. So like if you live in a high humidity area, are you going to not be able to get 5G signal? What I'd be more curious of seeing is there's actually been this technology out there that basically you can put this thing like the size of a sugar cube in your car, and it repeats the signal from cell towers. And so when you're out and about, you have one in your car, so it's connected to that. So it's just one point connecting to the cell towers and then repeating it. So that's less bandwidth pulling off from those cell towers. When you're home, there's this thing about the size of a Rubik's Cube that can provide signal for like 10 square miles. So one house, like in town here, one house could have that and provide signal for the whole area. And so it acts like a repeater. But the idea is that would work along with cellular towers and satellites to repeat signal. That's where I see things going. Yeah, 5G could be intrusive, but also the security level and the fact that you can have like 1 million people connected within like a square mile or something like that is crazy. It's going to change security for sure. And that's why, like, when people need higher level securities, they don't typically operate on their mobile network if they don't have to. And if you do, you should use like a VPN or something, which is easy. And I think that's why they'll have these devices at home that will act as like repeaters for your signal, because then you're connected to that, and the only information that's up and down from the internet is the signal coming in. And there's ways to like encrypt what device is actually pulling that information. So, well, like I said, my issue is there's areas that barely get 2G or 3G, let alone 4G or 4G LTE or HSPA plus or whatever. So how are they going to get 5G? Like, we were supposed to, by the end of 2018, 95% of this country was supposed to be covered with 4G LTE according to the FCC rulings. But then they pushed it back, and the government was like, nah, we can't force these companies, too much money in our pocket. So I don't see it going anywhere really. And it's expensive. Hey, Tech for Your Needs. Glad to see you here. I'm sorry if I kind of cut you off last night. I had a hard time hearing you on the live stream. So I feel like a couple times you went to talk and then I went to talk. But hopefully you can get your headset figured out and get that mic going. So you'll be curious to see where this goes, but I don't see it going anywhere for a while, especially because we're going to have that Energizer phone that's a 10,000 milliamp hour battery to be able to power our 5G. Because as of right now, with like the Note 10 Plus 5G or the S10 Plus 5G or these different 5G phones, it takes a huge hit, and the heat it creates is intense because of how it works. So I don't see. I see, firstly, maybe the idea that your car connects and it provides the power for it. So when you're in your car, it can connect to those points and repeat it. And then at your house, you have the same thing. And when you're out and about, if you need it, you jump onto it. But for most people's use, using through 4G would be good because that doesn't use as much energy and is more efficient and won't use the battery as much. So you turn it down, down to 4G. And then when you need fast, like immediate now downloads, you go to 5G. I don't know. It seems awfully dangerous to me. I mean, they claimed that it caused cancer, but there was really no proof of that any more than microwaves from your house are similar to the microwaves from the sun. I don't see any difference with that. And our phones alone emit frequencies and we don't know what they do. It's just, I guess, a risk that we put ourselves at. Electronics around us and all these frequencies that are transmitted with Wi-Fi. I mean, we don't know about what this does, really. It's not been around long enough. I mean, Wi-Fi, actually, funny enough, the first Wi-Fi device that was really capable and out there for the average consumers was the Apple Airport in 1999, 20 years ago. And we've gone really far since then and substantially faster speeds. I mean, the Wi-Fi here is 1,200 times as fast as what dial-up was. It's 40 times as fast as our first DSL was at least 40 times as fast when that was 1.5 megabits per second, and that was fast back then. That was 30 times faster than dial-up. So we're talking about like 1,500 times faster than dial-up right now. I did a YouTube video the other day, and it was like 2 minutes. And it was like 200 and some meg, right? It took like 8 minutes for that thing to upload completely to YouTube here, even though we have decent speed internet because of the servers and stuff. It would have taken a day to upload that. Over a day. Almost 2 days to upload that on dial-up. That's crazy. Yeah, Tech for Your Needs. I do think technology is moving too fast for society. I think that we don't even take advantage of what we have, and it's progressing. You can see that in hardware for computers. These new AMD 3000 series processors are capable of handling PCIe 4, Gen 4 technology. And our current technology, like current graphics cards, haven't even maxed out Gen 3. Like, in this Gen 4, yeah, storage, it's great, but its maximum potential transfer speeds are about 60% higher than Gen 3, But Gen 3 can max out at ridiculously fast speeds as it is. I mean, that 6 gigabit per second speed and 8 gigabit per second speed on Gen 4. I mean, we're not going to even use it, and it's going to cost money. And the average consumer, I think that's the issue we're running into, is things are being added, but no, who's going to use them? Like, they're gimmicky, like AR stickers, 3D technology on the back of a phone. Like, who's going to actually use that? I don't even know if 1% of users will use some of these things, and you're paying for it whether you use it or not. Like, I know YouTubers that bought the Note, like, from the original Note, and they talk about, like, one guy was like, yeah, I buy every Note, and he's like, but I can tell you with, like, my Note 9, he's like, I used the S Pen once to try it out. Like, people buy, and I think that Samsung will be shifting over to, like, we'll have the S11 and it will be like one size in multiple storages, and then there'll be a 5G version, or there might be two, but I think they're going to switch over to one, and the Note series will be replacing part of it because the differences are minuscule. Like, the Note 10 plus 5G and the S10 plus 5G are literally 1/10 of an inch difference in size. The Note is 6.8 and the S10 plus 5G is 6.7. And the pricing that they start at are the same. It's like $12.99 or yeah. So I don't see how we're gonna, how this is gonna happen. Oh gosh, this guy again. Anyways, yeah, I don't see how technology is. I mean, we're some of the least progressive technology in the world. And China and Japan and Korea and some of these are going everywhere, and we're stuck. Like, we are stuck in like the 80s. I don't see us going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, in comparison to some other companies, we're pretty far behind. I report this idiot again. Hey, guess what, Legend? I'm gonna get you. Hold on, let me get you. Well, apparently he doesn't have a page. Oh well. What a loser. I thought it's a bot. What an idiot. If he thinks I can't figure it out, he should see what I got on him. Yeah. I just checked out the source code for it. So yeah, move to China. I don't know about that. There's a lot to worry about there too. This guy has too much time on his hands, that Lajin. Man, he's a punk. I actually wish I actually be highly tempted to block chats without authorization, but I don't want to do that. Only allow mods in. If I could do that, I would be tempted to, but anyways, let me see what my actual last legitimate message was. Oh yeah, moving to China. Yeah. I don't know. It's really nice. They're proof that walls don't work. I mean, that's what's funny to me. What do y'all want to discuss here? Oh, how about OnePlus? So I don't know. It's an interesting company. OnePlus is actually from they're Chinese, I do believe. So they're like Oppo, Vivo, and Redmi and OnePlus are kind of, so as I take it, Apple and Vivo are like sub companies, and OnePlus is like a sub company of Apple. So they're from China, but most of their market was India up until the OnePlus 6T. And then they expanded to the United States. And I hope that with the 7T Pro or the 8 or whatever the next OnePlus phone is, that they'll expand to other they'll expand to other markets, other carriers, and be able to get unlocked like in store instead of having to order online, things like that. I'd love to see that. I'm not really sure. So yeah, they're doing faster Android updates. They're part of the beta program. Actually, you can get on some of the models of the 6T and the 7 Pro, you can actually get like Android Q beta like alongside Google beta, and they're saying that they'll be releasing at the same time. Android 10 will be released at the same time on OnePlus as Google. Tavon, from where? From the OnePlus 6T Oxygen Updater app, or if you search for it online, you can get the file and sideload it. But I'd be careful because, like, I tried that with my 6T, which was originally on T-Mobile, and then I unlocked it and I actually converted the software over to the international unlocked version. And as far as I know, the only model that it actually works well with is the Korean model. The first beta worked okay, and then the second didn't, and then the third still doesn't. Basically, it's like says that the software and hardware isn't supported. So I had to revert back to the last supported version. Actually, I am on a regular beta, Android Pie 9. I think it's a 9.0.16. So, yeah, actually, LG is part of the beta program too, but they only support it on Chinese, on like the Korean versions, like most of the carriers do. And I think part of that is just the hardware is different. Than even the unlocked versions we get, and the developers are creating. Yeah, that's the advantage of Pixel. You can get betas right on there. So apparently, actually, maybe tomorrow, September 3rd. Well, tomorrow here, since it's actually Monday, September 2nd here. So on Tuesday, apparently, the official Android 10 might be released by Google. They're saying, and we shall see, because it depends on when the Pixel 4 comes out. Because sometimes they release it ahead of time, sometimes they wait, and then they release it with the new devices. But for what I could see, it's supposed to be tomorrow that the last official beta will be out, and then it'll get pushed an official release to their companies. So yeah, I heard that too, that they might go by as far back as the OnePlus 5 and 5T. I'm not sure, because all I've seen for beta test wise is the 6, the 6T, the 7, and the 7 Pro. So I haven't seen anything go beyond that. But I'll be curious. Hopefully LG gets their update out fast too, since they're part of the beta program on one of their phones. Hopefully I'll get that before long. There's not too much that's going to be added. I'm actually kind of excited because I use Fluid NG. So I already have, if you can see here, gesture support. So like if I'm in Chrome here, or yeah, YouTube, I'm in Chrome here, and I want to close out, I just swipe up from anywhere. I can swipe up and hold and get to the app switcher. I go in an article, I swipe to go back. Hold on here. Swipe to go back. Or I can swipe and hold to get to the app switcher. I basically added kind of like that's the LGG8 art dog. That I put the Fluid Navigation's Gestures app on there, and I basically have like my iPhone 10 gestures, and it doesn't get in the way like they're saying that the Android 10 gestures will. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. It's funny because technically Apple wasn't the first company to do gestures, but well-known company and to do it widely. iOS has had the back swipe gesture for a long time. And then people say it's going to be getting used to it. It's just like flipping through pages of a book. Martian Bigfoot, what channel you want to plug? I mean, go ahead. I'll check it out. If it's something I don't think belongs here, I'll just get rid of it. I like gestures because it's quick and you don't have to hit an exact spot. So, like, I could be over here and be doing something and I want to, get into my app switcher. I can do it without looking. I mean, watch. App switcher without looking. I'm in Messenger. No, I'm not in I'm in app switcher. Swipe it out. I don't even have to be looking at my phone. So wings. Okay. Copy. Wings of Redemption on Twitch, huh? Okay. I'm not really sure what that's for, but okay. Martian Bigfoot, what do they do? What type of channel are they or whatever? Is it just game streaming? I'm for supporting anybody as long as they're not annoying me and causing problems and being vulgar and pestering people and being abusive. So and as far as gestures are, Doug, yeah, I mean, I like it. The funny thing is I only use the home button on my iPad anymore for unlocking it because I can swipe up. Let's say I'm in Safari. Swipe up, app switcher. Want to get rid of an app? Swipe up. I mean, so they've actually said it's one of the easiest things to get used to because, like, when older people come into an Apple store and they're looking at phones and looking at iPads and stuff, they quite literally can pick up and use an iPhone and get used to the gestures like almost immediately because of how much it's like flipping through a magazine and just swiping to clear things out. And it's not like there's these complicated multi-gesture things you have to do to, do some crazy, like, I'm gonna put 3 fingers here and 2 over here and move them just right to open something or, do crazy fangled, like have to do yoga and do downward facing dog to, into a crane, into some, crazy position to be able to unlock my phone or whatever. So what I'm hoping is that Apple will bring the multi-directional Face ID to the iPhone. I'd actually love to see an iPhone that's like the new iPad Pros in a phone mode where it has the style, like the flat edges, like the 5 and 5S did. And in true stereo speakers that when you're holding in portrait mode, the 2 speakers are like here and here and here and here, and you get right and left. And then when you rotate it, you get like the same right and left this way that they automatically orient like they do on my iPad. I'd love to hear that. That'd be awesome. Like my iPad has really good sound. Surprisingly enough, actually. I don't know if any of you are interested in this, but Copyright free music. I mean, it's my iPad, and it changes, no matter which direction I have it, the sound is right and left and all that. So, don't want to be too loud because it's 2:00 in the morning. So, I don't know. I find it interesting. Well, I've been on for almost 2 hours. If you guys have any more questions, let me know real quick. If not, I guess I'm gonna say goodnight. Just let me know. I don't want to get off and leave you hanging. So, yeah, it is nice. I like it. That iPad I've had for, since whenever the first 9.7-inch iPad Pro came out. Funny enough, I actually had an iPhone 4, which was like the first iPhone that had Siri, the first iPhone that had like the decent app store. Then I had the iPhone 10, which is the first iPhone to have that type of display and notch and technology. I've had the original iPad, the original iPad Mini, the first Apple Watch. I don't have them all anymore. I've either given them away or sold them. So, but I'd actually like to see a Pro iPad Mini, like with like high refresh rate screen and some of that, and like Face ID and some of that. But I guess the XS Max is kind of almost big enough. So, have a good night, Tavon Ray. Peace out. Thanks for checking me out. If you're not subscribed, please do that, and hit that notification bell, and you'll get notified anytime I'm up. So, peace out, Art Dog. I'm out.